Welcome to a new bonus episode of the Finnish Football Show. Today I'm delighted to be joined by one of the main players in one of the biggest fan supporter groups in the whole of Finland, Armada Turku. I shall be talking today with Jussi about how the Armada Turku came about and their shows of Tifos at the games and how they like to support their team in a vocal and really showing manner. So welcome to the Finnish Football Show, Jussi.
Thank you. It's an honor.
It's first of all, it's really great for you to take some time to speak to us. We, as you know, we're four guys from England who have a love for Finnish football, and we're doing this this podcast for people to hear us chatting about what we like to see on the pitch in Finland. But my own personal passion is. Obviously, I love to watch great players and I love to watch great goals and skill. But my own personal passion is that how the social aspect of football, the coming together of people to support a team,
that's what football is really all about.
Exactly, and my biggest interest, especially in since I've been following Finnish football, is the supporter groups of various clubs. So. As we've mentioned before, when I contacted you, it was some of your stuff in Instagram from Armada Turku that first caught my eye. Your really great tifos that you do at the games, and of course the wonderful stickers that you're sticking around your city and every other city that you guys visit. So yeah, first of all, welcome and thanks for taking the time to talk to us, Jussi.
Yeah, thank you.
So first thing I wanted to ask you about your group Armada Turku is, because Inter Turku, I guess in historical sense, they're quite a new club. I think it was when was it, 1990 or around?
Yeah, we just turned 30 years. So
yeah, so 1990 that club was formed. So how old is your group Armada Turku? Has that group been formed around the same time as the club, or did it take some years for the group to be formed?
No, actually we started in 2009, I think.
Okay.
We had the purpose of like invigorating the atmosphere inside the stadium, which was quite silent back then.
Okay.
And the other supporters club, which is called Ultra Boys, it was formed already about 20 years ago. But most of the members were already back then a lot older than us, and they didn't really have any desire to make like tifos or improve the mood in the stands. So we decided to form a group of our own.
Okay, so I'm aware of the Ultra Boys Turku. So, and I was interested to hear how the dynamic works between the two groups. So, because across Europe, in some of the bigger clubs in Italy and Spain and so on, and I guess even to some extent England, there are different fan groups who can support the same club, but not necessarily get on too well. But so the vibe between you and the Ultra Boys is a good one.
Yeah. Personally, I think it can actually sometimes be good that there are different kind of supporters groups.
Yeah.
So maybe if you want to go to an away game with your family or something, maybe it's better to join their bus than ours. So I think there's no problem between us, but we are the guys who are making all the noise inside the stadium and who are making all the tifos. So it was really better to like make a group of our own instead of trying to be like a smaller group inside Ultra Boys. And what it turned out to be that now we have like, I don't know, almost 100 people in our group, I would say, and they have maybe 20 or 30. So of course it's more like attractive for juniors, especially when there's a lot of noise and tifos and the stand is colorful.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm already 43, but I'm still heading for the colourful, noisy stand myself. I'm not ready to give up on that just yet. So if I was coming to Inter Turku game, I think it would be your group I was looking out for.
Yeah, you are welcome. It's good if you feel like a teenager, because that's how we still feel when we
Just for a couple of hours. Yeah, it's nice to leave those maybe that the pressures of family and work life at home and just feel like there is nothing else but football and atmosphere for a few hours. So that's something that I really enjoy myself. So when the group formed, Jussi, was did you so the idea of course was to create some atmosphere, make some noise, and also some visual effects at the stadium there to support your team. But did you take any influence from any other groups, like as I mentioned, ultra groups in Italy or countries like that, or even English? I mean, I grew up in England, so and as I said, I'm 43 now. So growing up in the 1980s, there was those they were labelled as kind of hooligan groups or firms, but it was a little bit more than that. It was just guys supporting their team. But did you guys take any influence from any ultra groups from Sweden?
I really think the most influence comes from Italian or German ultras, like the idea of showing the passion for your club with overhead tifos, flags, two-handers, and so on. So that has really been the core idea for us. And well, to be honest, I watch the Premier League often still, but I was very disappointed when I went there a few years ago to see a match, because there was something like 50,000 people attending that game. But at some point, at some point I felt that we've had a lot better atmosphere in Kupita with a crowd of maybe 3,000 people.
Yeah, so, I think you're right. Can I ask which game you saw in England?
Yeah, it was Newcastle against Tottenham.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's I was a long time supporting West Ham, and they were my team.
Yeah, I read from your blog. Yeah.
Yeah, they were my team in England, but since they moved the stadium, even and because we managed to keep a pretty okay atmosphere at our old stadium, but since the move to the new stadium, it's been really the same, really terrible. Its atmosphere has disappeared. So that led me to even stop going to watch them. So and I agree with you. I can have more fun and create more atmosphere in Jyväskylä with Harjunpojat at JJK with like 20 guys than
exactly
50,000 in West Ham.
Yeah. Actually, West Ham is like my favorite team from the Premier League, but I've noticed the same from TV, that really the only thing from the past you can see is that when the bubbles go up in the beginning of the match, because it seems that there's really, last year before the coronavirus started, there was really no atmosphere whatsoever.
No, that's it. So it's I think it's really great, like you say, you are influenced from the Italian and the German ultras, and I think those guys are maybe the best in the world, we can say, at creating those tifos and atmospheres. But yeah, you guys are doing quite good yourself. So I've seen, as I mentioned, I've seen some of your tifos, your full stand tifos, where most of your group are covered by the tifo, and also your stickers that are dotted around all over the place. So where do you get your influence and the ideas, like the ideas for those tifos and stickers? Is like one or two of you guys are just like some artistic or clever guys, or?
Yeah, we have like a core group inside Armada. It's about 10 people, I think, and there we just talk about possible ideas, and you can get an idea anywhere. Like if you walk in the street, you can have an idea from whatever place in Turku that you could put in a sticker or in the tifo. But then we usually, after some proportions, we like vote about the final design, and then we will draw and paint them ourselves from the beginning till the end.
So it's pretty cool. It sounds like quite a democratic process, like you someone has a flash, an idea, and then shares it with the other guys, and you decide whether to take it forward.
Yeah, it's always been like this, but I think about 10 people is maximum for this, because if you have more than that who are deciding about this, then it becomes too hard. So So
maybe nothing would get done then.
Yeah. To be honest, I have to say biggest thanks here to just 2 persons in our group, because the other one has amazing skills to design this stuff in computer and whatsoever, and the other one plans and coordinates most of the things needed for this. So then the rest of us can just join and draw and paint whatever is needed to be done. So it's really it doesn't take too many people to make great tifos after all.
But it sounds like you're devoting a lot of your time to that. You know, I mean, it looks as though you are devoting a lot of time, because especially your tifos, the larger ones, they look pretty great. So yeah, I imagine that. But are you using like the projector to project the image to the cloth or the
yeah.
So it's
then because they are nowadays so large, so we have to usually project them in many parts and then put them together in the end. But like you said, it takes, of course, a lot of time and money to make this. But I personally, I see it as a way to show respect and like pay back to the players for their efforts in the pitch. And also, I think the players, they like sense this, and they have some respect, at least nowadays, for us, for the supporters, and maybe they give absolutely everything they can when they play, because they know that there's 100 people who really their week really turns to be a bad or a good one, depending on the result we get that day. So
I think you're really right there. I think, you know, especially in a country like Finland, where maybe the football attendances are not as big maybe as in England or Spain or Italy or France. I think those guys, they can really appreciate those couple hundred hardcore fans who are doing everything to support their club, and I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does spur them on to leave 100% in the pitch, you know. So yeah, well done for that. The one other interesting thing I wanted to ask you is, obviously there is another Turku club. Not sure if we're allowed to mention them when we're talking to you, but TPS, they are much older club than Inter Turku. So how is it that when you are from Turku, or when you are reaching an age, how is it that you are choosing TPS or Inter Turku? Is it because it come from a tradition of your family, or is it something like that?
Well, I guess nowadays it's more about where you play as a junior.
Okay.
But back in the 90s, before Stefan Hökans built this club, there was really no competitor for them in our city, and Inter started changing this all. And it's funny because they are always saying that nobody is interested about us, but then again they are saying in the other sentence that they hate us so much and whatever. So it seems that in only 30 years we have already started our own traditions, and we have actually, after the clubs in Helsinki, after Huuhkajat and Hoiko, we have one of the bigger supporter groups in Finland. So if we can do this in only 30 years, I don't know where we are in 100 years.
Yeah.
So, but of course for the city, it's great that if there's derby matches, like it has really been great for Helsinki. I saw the first Helsinki derby from TV this season, and it was so good advertisement for Finnish football. I really think it should have been shown from Yle or Nelonen or whatever, so more people might get more interested in football if they would show this in the main channels. But
I have to agree with you 100%. Again, I think it's for a city as big as Turku, I think it's essential that there are 2 clubs competing in the top league, and who can have this fascinating derby game. You know, like we can even go as far as to call it the second city derby. It's for Finnish football. This can only be a good thing, to have two strong teams based in Turku, you know, so
and actually back like 10 years ago, it was the biggest match of Finland before Huuhkajat got promotion.
So it's so yeah, so how is the you mentioned there that other team TPS, they are 1 minute they're not so concerned about you, and the next breath they're saying that they hate you guys. So how is that rivalry? Is you have some kind of mutual respect for their supporters, or is there some real hatred there? How is the rivalry?
No, I think, to be honest, it would be wrong to say here that there would be some real hatred. I don't think so. To be honest, I'm not too interested in them. I don't even know who are really playing for them. Last week we won them 3-0, and for the time being we are the top club in Turku. But I don't know. They have their own troubles, and I'm not really too interested in them. And I think maybe back in the 90s, people started supporting Inter, maybe some of them because they didn't like the other club in Turku. But nowadays, people start supporting Inter because of Inter, because we have created something unique in Finnish football. It's really, the story is quite funny behind the club, and it's really something that is very unique in football. Like, you can create a club that competes in the top league, that has so many supporters with so much passion in only 30 years from the beginning. So it's I'm really proud of my club, and we are really, we like to use our energy and focus for our club, and not for thinking what the local or other rivals do.
That's I think you're right. The achievement is amazing. What you know, to just say, okay, we're going to make a new club, and in 30 years for that club to be one of the top teams in the whole country is something else. I think the achievement is quite remarkable. So I think you've pretty much summed that up, your feelings towards your city neighbours. But there's one other subject that we do need to talk about. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but as I said, I grew up in England in the 80s, and anyone who was a football fan or a member of a fan group was, by our delightful Prime Minister back then, was automatically labelled a hooligan. It's undeniable that there was trouble at English football grounds, and we've also talked about Germany and Italy, and even in neighbouring Sweden there are stories coming from football fans having violent confrontations. Is that something that has ever happened with Armada, or you guys are totally not into that scene and just using your energy to create an atmosphere?
Well, I can only speak for my own opinion here, but to be honest, I think it has nothing to do with football or with supporters culture. If some groups of lads go fight each other somewhere in a forest, and perhaps these guys do not even go to the matches. but of course, sometimes in the stadiums, when there is a lot of passion, some incidents can happen. But yeah, we are not, or me at least, we are not looking for any violent rivalry or anything like this. And I think in Finland, the supporters culture has really grown in the past like 10 years, but in a good way. I don't think there's too many troubles around the matches, and you can go to see the derby of Turku or derby of Helsinki with your family, and you don't have to be worried about anything if you are not doing stupid stuff yourself.
Yeah, I think that, you know, I've seen. I've not been to a stadium derby myself, but our one of my co-hosts on Finnish Football Show, Mark, he's a regular. He lives in Helsinki, so he's a regular at whenever there's a stadium derby. He's there, and you know, I've seen the photographs from the you know, they're what seems like such a big, heavy police presence just for some guys who want to sing some songs and make some colors. You know, it seems like it's a little bit much. Maybe the police and authorities are expecting something different. They don't really understand the football culture, and that people are not looking for a fight. They're just looking to make some noise in support of their club. So I don't know, but yeah, maybe that's the thing. But so do you at Armada Turku, do you have is there any problem with authorities or security companies? I'm thinking because we saw some scenes from, I think it was last season's Suomen Cup, was it? And there was some private security firm like Mason.
Safedoor.
Yeah. So I mean, how is the security situation at your home stadium? Is there some private firm, or do you have with, obviously the relationship with your club is a good one, but is there some third party security that you have to get around, or how is that?
No, I think it has improved over years, because there used to be some private firm some years ago that didn't really have any sense in what they were doing, but I think it has been better nowadays. I cannot remember many incidents over the past seasons, but I remember one case when it was like 10 or 15 years ago, when we went to Mariehamn to play against MIFK, and we had some blue and black smokes in the away section, and after lighting these up, some stewards like rushed in our section and started throwing these smokes away from the stands, and then one of these smokes hit another staff member of the stadium in the head, and this is a good example that if they would just let us do our thing and support the club, and everybody was safe, and it was no problem at all, it would have been, everything would have went better. So I think maybe they have improved from what happened like 10 years ago in the matches, and maybe they have realized that they should let the supporters support and not go in the stands.
Yeah, not go so heavy-handed. Just let us do our thing, and then everything will be calm. Yeah, I understand. But
yeah,
so
it would be also safer for everybody, I think, that way.
Yeah, exactly. The I mean, that sector incident with the macing of fans, it was just like something from, I don't know, not something from Finland. I don't think it was like, am I watching this coming from the moon or something? You know, like,
yeah, it was crazy seeing, because I think there was one supporter from Ilves, if I'm correct. He was just walking past and didn't even look to the field or to the steward, and he was using this pepper spray for this guy, and it looked like they really don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh dear. But so next thing I wanted to ask you, Jussi, is yourself or the wider group of Armada Turku, how is your feelings towards the Finnish national team? Are you a supporter of the Huuhkajat, and do you make as much effort to support Finland national team as you do to Inter Turku?
Yeah, of course, we are supporters of Huuhkajat, but personally, I'm just talking for myself here, but personally for me, the club football is the most important thing. But of course, it was a dream come true that Huuhkajat finally made it to the European Championship last year. And there was actually Joni Kauko is our old player, so it's been great seeing him playing for the national side. But I don't know, of course, everybody is a bit worried now with the coronavirus, so I just hope that it doesn't prevent people from attending the games next summer when we are finally there in the championship.
Yeah, I mean,
let's hope for the best.
It was well, I think I personally have got everything crossed for next summer. We already had our flights and accommodation. I don't want to spend too much time moaning about this. Everyone's heard it before, but yeah, I had my my match tickets. My visa to Russia was sorted out, and accommodation and flights, and then everything just cancelled. So hopefully we can finally go there next summer. But I know exactly what you mean, because as I said, growing up supporting West Ham in England, it was, for me, it was West Ham was always my number one. You know, obviously I wanted England to win, but
Yeah.
Club football for me was always the main thing. But since I've quietened down on the West Ham thing, then I guess Finland has become, the national team has become my new club. You know, so so yeah, that's where all my effort and my passion is.
So what
directed.
would happen if Finland plays against England?
Maybe you already know the answer to this one, but I would have to be supporting Finland, because, and I don't. Well, I was going to say I don't want my British passport taken away, but with the Brexit thing, maybe it's useless anyway, so they can have it back. But but you know, it's Finland. Finland are my team. They're like my club. So if I spend money and time and effort, same as you supporting Inter, I spend my time and money and effort going to support Finland. So, and I've never done that with the England national team. So if those two, it would be quite a dream, I think, if they were drawn together. But I would be with my brothers and sisters in the Huuhkajat section, I think.
Oh, nice to hear.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, are you guys so active in your away support? You'll see. I mean, it's I've been going to, as you know, I'm in Finland. I support JJK, and I've been in many supporter buses with my friends from Harjunpojat, and we've been traveling all over the place. Back in the day, as I said, it was maybe 2 or 3 buses, but these days we're not doing so well down there in Kakkonen, so the buses are maybe just one bus now. But are you guys very active in your away support?
Yeah, actually we used to be, but this season with the coronavirus and whatever, and almost all our away matches being played during the week, we haven't really had too many away trips. But last year we did many trips. The best one, I think, was to Tammela, Tampere, and there were like 4 buses, I think, in total. There were 200 of us, and it felt like a home match, because for some strange reason, I don't know why, but Ilves, there's a lot of crowd, but they don't really make any noise at all. So it really felt like playing in home, and I really like the Tammela Stadium because you are so close to the pitch. So after we won it 1-0, it was really one of the best experiences I've had ever with our team.
I think Tammela is one of my favorite stadiums in Finland as well. Just it reminds me of a small English ground, you know, like
exactly. Yeah.
It's not there's no athletics facilities there. It's a football stadium. So
so you can almost touch the player if you're in the sideline.
So it's I've had some nice experiences there myself also. So yeah, it's good. But I think, you know, you mentioned that you went to Marianham away. I think I've not done that myself yet, but I think that's one I would like to do, to take the ferry to Marianham, and that's some away trip to have to take the ferry to an away club.
Yeah, it is. The only problem is that the ferry starts from 8 a.m. or something. So if the match starts at 6 p.m. or so, you have to be careful with not drinking too much beer during the day. But these are really nice trips every year when we play against MIFK.
And I think we have to mention there's been a little bit of breaking news just come today, just before we spoke. Veikkausliiga is going to conclude after this next round of fixtures after 22 games.
Yeah, I actually just found out before we started from news about this, and To be honest, I'm personally a bit disappointed because we have a winning streak at the moment, and I think we could have had a realistic chance for the title if we had won Hoiko in the last match of the regular season. But yeah, I guess after all, this is the right call for them to do. But it should have been made already, like before we started the season in July, because everybody knew that the coronavirus might not go away. So it would have been better for Veikkaus League and for every team if we had known that it ends after everybody facing each other twice. So I think it was a bit shameful how yesterday they said that, okay, we can perhaps play the last 5 matches, and then today they are saying that no, it's not possible.
Yeah, it is a tricky one, as you say. It would have been nice if they made the decision up front, so everybody knew that this is the games, this is how long the season will run, and they can put their efforts to that in knowing when the season will finish. So and for as you say, for a club like Inter, I think it is a little bit of a sour taste, because you guys have been doing so well, and there really was some chance that maybe you could clinch that title. So, but I guess it's about keeping players and people safe as well. So it's a tricky one, but I don't know. It's just a shame that this the league will be decided in this fashion, I guess. But at least we got to see some football, and some fans have been able to be at the stadium this year. It's been a very different in some other countries. So
yeah. Then again, we have to remember that it's been much better in Finland than almost everywhere else in Europe. So I guess we've had one of the highest crowds in the whole of Europe this season.
Yeah.
So this has been better than not playing at all. But I hope next season we can have a proper season from the start. So because it's been so weird this one, and with the restrictions, there's not been too many how would I say, normal fans going to the matches as there is usually.
Yeah. So I just want to touch again back on the inner workings of the Armada Turku, Jussi. So you said, it obviously takes a lot of time and effort to produce your tifos and also your stickers, but I imagine that there's also there's a cost as well, a monetary cost. I mean, the paint materials, the stickers, they don't come for free. So how is the group generating money? Are you selling your sticker packs, or are you selling scarves and other Armada merchandise to your group members and also like regular fans, or how does that work?
Yeah, we are selling stickers and scarves, but I think last season, for example, this trip to Tamela I told you about, because there were so many of us, we could have some profit from the trip. So we saved this money, and then we make like maybe 2 or 3 times per year we make a bigger order from abroad, and we order all the stuff we need, maybe some flares and smoke sometimes, and everything we need for making those tifos. So it's not actually too expensive after all when you make everything yourself.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, as I said previously, it's really interesting, that dynamic, and it sounds like a really like democratic process there, and it's really great to see. I think it's so important for the Finnish football culture that there are groups like Armada to create an atmosphere in the stadium. So when those little kids are going there with their dad and they're thinking, I want to be up there with those guys, So, and I think like you said previously, the atmosphere can only be a good thing for the players, for the league, for the advert of the Finnish football culture. So yeah, I think it's really great what you guys are doing. But So how do you?
Like you said about the kids who are saying that I want to be there. I've been really proud seeing last season and this season that there's been many guys and girls also who are like, I don't know, 15 years old or something, joining our group. And of course, they might not go to away matches or anything, but they are standing next to us, and they are like, after every match they are maybe chanting a bit more and more, and this is what really creates the atmosphere for many years to go on. So I really think we have like a good future for our group and for our club because of this one reason.
That's it. I mean, I remember back when my own father first took me to football, and I was just absolutely amazed and immediately drawn to where those older guys were clapping and singing. You know,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
think that feeling for little boy or little girl, you know, going to the football, that's where they want to be. So yeah, I
yeah,
think you're right. It's hopefully it can keep the atmosphere going for many years.
yeah. And like you said, for a kid, it's actually more interesting to see all the tifos and the supporting than actually the game.
Yeah.
Well, if you're 8 years old, you don't really understand much about football, but you can still understand about the feeling around football.
That's it. So, how do you feel being a football fan in Finland, Jussi? I mean, it's I think it's fair if we say that. I mean, despite football is the number one participant sport in Finland, but I think it's fair if we say that for spectators, I think that hockey is probably the largest spectator sport, is it not? But so I mean, because in as I said, I'm a fan of JJK Jyväskylä, and in Jyväskylä, our group of football fans, we're almost like this kind of like underworld, like this
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know, this like subculture thing, you know, like
yeah, exactly. We are like a minority in Finland.
yeah. So is I mean, do you can feel that yourself, or is that for me? I find that quite exciting. You know that we are not like as football fans in Finland. We are not just like everybody else. Even though I want to grow football culture in Finland, I'm pretty quite proud that we are not like everybody else. This is kind of our thing, and of course everybody is welcome, but this is like this is really our thing, and we're a little bit different. Is that feeling the same for you guys?
Yeah. I think we have a very special feeling of like togetherness in the Finnish football because, like you said, maybe in Italy or England, like everybody follows football a bit, but it's not the same here, at least not yet. So if you follow football, you are usually really passionate about it. So it's true, but then again, I think it has already changed quite a lot in the past, like 10 or 5 years, and now with Huuhkajat going to the European Championship, I think it will grow more and more, and we will start winning some ground back from ice hockey. And this is my own opinion, but I think that ice hockey is so popular. It's a bit of a problem because, of course, all the best talents, well, they are deciding. Like I'm talking about juniors, they are deciding between ice hockey and football. And if you're from Italy or Spain or England, you don't have such a choice to play ice hockey. So I really hope if we go 10 or 20 years from now that football is the biggest sport in Finland.
I think it's exactly what you say. It's the Huuhkajat qualification as should do absolute wonders for the football culture and those youngsters getting into the football in Finland. But it's I think maybe another enemy of the Finnish football is the English Premier League. I mean, I've come across people in Finland who are supporting maybe Liverpool or something like this, and then you're like, but what about your local team? Like, do you ever go and watch Rops or Tips or or any number of teams, and they're like, huh? Like it's so I really think that it's important for what you guys are doing to grow so Finnish people can feel that they can go to watch their own local club.
Yeah, and people who are going to the Veikkausliiga matches for the first time, they're actually sometimes surprised nowadays that there is some ultra groups who are making this atmosphere, and they didn't even know that there are a few thousand people going to some matches, and they are really passionate about it. And I don't know how it has become so that in Finland most people who follow football, they are interested about Liverpool or Man United, but we should get those guys to the stands to see Veikkausliiga or Ykkönen or Kakkonen, whatever, because then they could realize, and then they could get their first touch with what actually football is all about. And they think that they have a relationship with Liverpool or whatsoever, but they don't realize how it is when you really have this relationship with your club, when you go to away matches, when you go to every single home game, and you do work actually for your team to support it as well as you can.
No, I think you're right. You're absolutely right. That once you have that connection to your local club, it's something that will stay with you. And as I said, from my own experience, it was almost a devastation when West Ham decided to move stadium. It almost felt like a lover had cheated on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like we got a divorce at that point, me and West Ham. But as I said, I'm now focused my energies on supporting Finland and JJK. So I still feel that football love. So I'm doing okay. I found someone else to fill that void.
Good for you.
So that's good. But yeah, I mean, I think all that remains for me to say to you, Jussi, is like, seriously, your group is doing amazing things, not only for your own team, but for the wider football culture in Finland. So like, just keep doing what you're doing and support your team. And I really wish every success for Inter Turku, because you fans really deserve that for all the effort that you make.
Yeah, thank you very much, and you are welcome to, if you come to Turku, you are welcome to join us for a few pints and see the match.
I will do. I will do.
Let's hope this coronavirus goes away finally next year, or
yeah, I hope so too.
At some point.
I will. Yeah, when I'm, I'll be sure to let you know when I'm in Turku. And yeah, nice pint sounds good. But we as we know, like, we connected through Instagram. So yeah, where can people look at your tifos and stickers? What's your Armada Turku's handle on the Instagram?
Yeah, you can just Google up Armada Turku, and it will show up. We have a Facebook and both Instagram and also our own website. But I guess if you just go to Instagram and look for us there, you will see all our tifos. And usually, if there is a tifo, there will be a picture about it, like the next day after the match. So
cool.
So go there and follow it.
Yeah, and we'll put some of those photographs of some of your best tifos on the show notes. So those who are listening on the podcast, they can go to finishfootballshow.com, and yeah, we'll have some cool photos of the stickers and tifos from Armada Turku. So yeah, finally, Jussi, thanks for joining me, mate, and it was been a real great pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was my honor. I hope I will see you in some match next year.
Sounds good. And yeah, please stay in touch. I'll speak to you soon, Jussi.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.